Today we're trying to do a kitzur. Moyle gets a phone call. Mazel tov, mazel tov. Very nice. He wants to know, Sunday's the bris. When did you have the baby? Thursday. The Moyle count. There's a problem here. The bris is supposed to be on Thursday. No, Rabbi, you don't understand. We're having a breakfast, we're having the family over. Sunday's really convenient. Moyle says, no, but you don't understand. Okay. The guy gets irritated. He says, listen, I have a doctor in Cornell. He's a good friend. He happens to be Jewish. If you don't want to do it, it's not a problem. No problem. Have a nice day. Right? The guy feels bad. Maybe he did the wrong thing, so he asks Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, what should he do? The mitzvah is to do a b'yom hashmini, even b'Shabbos, and if you don't, you have to do the milah b'zmana. This guy doesn't want to do the milah b'zmana. He wants to do it when it's convenient on Sunday. So what should he do? So here's the answer from the Moshe. Look in Siman Kuf Yud Ches. Hine mit dvar echad sheyem hashmini hu b'yom hey va'av eine choshesh shel mitzvahs Hashem yisbarach ve'ene maniach lamoiloi ad yom aleph. The bris is supposed to be on Thursday, but the father said, no, it's going to be on Sunday. Vim lo yirtza moil kosher lamoiloi. If the moil doesn't want to do it, the Mechaber says that if a guy does it, the other discussion. The Ramos says no, you have to do atofas dan bris, and the same applies to a Jew which doesn't keep Torah mitzvahs, that is a mumar. So the Moshe says that this guy knows that the father is going to use a moil who's a doctor, he's not Shema Torah. Parsha shetzarich moil kosher lamoilo b'yom rishon kadesh etiskayim mitzvahs hamila avshelo b'zmana. The din is, if the father doesn't do it, the bezdin is obligated, and Klal Yisrael is obligated in the mitzvah. So they are over in their chiyuv. They're obligated to do a bris, the moilim. It's on Klal Yisrael, but a person that doesn't know, we can't do it. That'll be a criminal. But who? So who is chayiv? The moilim that they know. Given she'efshel lahem b'yom aleph harotza av she'moil kosher yom aloyse. So aval moil tzarich lishtadol b'chol ha'efshelo sheyom alav bezmani. The father, the moil should try as much as he could to convince the father to do it as man. But basically, the Moshe said, pick up the phone, call the guy back, and don't try to negotiate from the high point. If you can convince the father to do the milah zmana, good. If not, just do the milah whenever the father agrees to do the milah. Yeah, we're talking about after 8 days. 8 days was on a Thursday. The guy wants to delay it to the Sunday afterwards. No, chas v'sholom before. Chas v'sholom.
Well, the bemis hamel is darver. The moil's bemis misayeh is darver.
That's why the moil thought that he should just hang up the phone.
Yeah.
But Moshe said no, because what happens is you have to try to convince the father to do it Thursday. He wants to delay it by 3 days. So if you're not going to do the bris, he's going to get a moil. It's possible to do it.
How do you know?
That's what the father said he's going to do.
He's threatening him, but who says it's true?
Okay, so that the Moil decided that the Moshe
decided that it's better to not to call his bluff.
Right, because the danger is that he's going to really get a mumar that's going to do the bris. So, I'm interested to know, what would a Moshe say the other way around? If the guy really got the doctor that's not Shema Torah, and then they asked the Moshe, should they do the bris again, the toughest down bris or not? I'm not sure the Moshe would say that. He would say, oh, we don't know. The father is, the guy is not Shema Torah mitzvahs. He might not be a mumer. Maybe he's a tinuk shenishba. But I think it's lachatchila. You always, lachatchila, you should try to have a moil, which is a Shema Torah mitzvah.
But they don't do a toughest down bris in the hospital.
No. I'm asking a different question. If this story happened a little differently. Moyle hung up, got a doctor in Cornell. Bris was done Sunday, bagels and lox. Monday, the father had a hiru tshuva, and he asks, what should I do? The moil was not a Shema Torah mitzvah. Do I need to do a toughest dan bris now or not?
But he never did a toughest down bris.
He did a full milah on Sunday, 3 days after the bris.
But in the hospital, they do a toughest down bris?
No, they don't. But I'm asking a shayla. If you know someone in your Chabadas that use a doctor as a moil, and he's a Jewish doctor, you have to convince him to do a toughest dan bris?
difference in anything. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's my
He's like,
shayla.
she'll make up.
Okay. Another shayla is the moil. This moil that could do the bris on Sunday. The Moshe says, "Okay, forget it. Abi Tazria-Metzora will do the bris." And when the father comes to pay him, should he take the pay or not? I'll ask you. I'll explain why my shayla is
Do take the pay, Moil.
the moil. Why is my shayla? Because if you're taking the pay, so you're like a shliach. Really, the moil is doing it on Sunday, which is the wrong. Achatchila, you're supposed to do it on Thursday. He's doing it 3 days later.
They're taking the pay just for keeping him from the
Exactly.
false moil.
That's why Moshe said he can do it. He's not being Messiah, the
Taking the
guy.
pay for what
Right.
he kept him from doing.
My
Okay.
question is, what if the male never checked out the baby? What if you could be samech that maybe the baby's yellow?
Ooh.
What if? I guess in this case that wasn't the shaila. The shaila was the moil. Okay, so the moil knows that he'll go there, and but
They're saying it's
you
still
can't
possible.
trick the Ribono Shel Olam.
It's still possible, he's saying, that maybe the baby wasn't ready.
No, it's obvious. That's what I'm saying. It's a sarcana for the baby because medically, right? The 8th day is the best day.
The eighth day is considered the best day.
But
Yeah.
he's saying, good child. The father wasn't interested in having the baby checked out by the 8th day. And you can't give a bris unless the baby's checked out. So even if they wanted to have given a bris, they couldn't have given a bris on the 8th day because it's a sarcana.
Okay.
The vitamin K
It's saying a little bit
kicks on
different what
the
he's
8th day,
saying.
Okay.
and it goes down after that.
Yeah.
Clotting doesn't happen right.
Okay.
It's a good order.
We had here in basement Achemendel a fellow. You mamish, you don't know. He comes here mizman lizman. He assures me that if I don't see him, he's not going somewhere else. Don't worry. So it was the 8th day, and I was wondering. I wasn't invited to the bris, so I figured I'd give a guy a call. Was bris? The guy doesn't know what I'm talking about. So I called Shmulik. What's your brother-in-law's number? Okay, he texts me right away his brother-in-law's number. I call Levi Heber. He came running here, checked the baby. Baby is ready, but Shingavon Shkia was already too late. We did the bris the next day here in Beis Menachem Mendel. But
They didn't know he turned on him, he was like embarrassed.
I don't know. It's like it went it went out of his mind.
Wow.
Went out of his mind. I'm sure eventually he would have realized that he has to do a bris. But he said, "Oh, the baby was a preemie." So I said, "Preemie." Ask the moil. Ask the moil to check. The moil said the baby is gesund. It's like the baby is 100% healthy. You can do the bris right away. Just by the time the moil got there, it was too late. So the hira navodas Hashem from this is that you mamish, you don't know. You can think you're here in Flatbush, and unbelievable. You don't know. You have to make sure that this was by Chassidim. This was Mila was an unbelievable thing. So many Lubavitcher Chassidim learned Mila in order to be Moelim, and they had Mesidus Nefesh Mamish on Mila. My grandmother Baba Mayasha, so her husband was killed because he was a Moel. There's a story that they say that there was once a Moel in Russia that came. By the time they were organized the Mila, the baby was already 3 months old. And as soon as the moil did the bris, the mother couldn't wait till he puts the bandage, and she grabbed the baby out of the moil's hand, and she started hugging the baby and kissing. She started to cry. The moil said, "What happened?" She said she made a vow as soon as the baby was born that she's not going to hug or kiss the child until she makes a bris, because she was scared that she knows it's Mesidus Nefesh. So, a day is going to another day. It's dangerous. Hakonas Nefoshes. And the baby will end up without a bris. So she made this thing that she's not hugging and kissing. Can you imagine? She nursed the baby, but she never hugged or kissed the baby. So she was chalishing to kiss the baby after 3 months. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It is amazing. I thought also she didn't want to kiss she didn't want to, he didn't have it yet to sell another kid. She had a big madrega.
No, she was just pushed the lady.
Wanted to
She
kiss the
wanted to push it. She knew that if she's not going to kiss the baby, she's eventually going to get the moil and it's going to get done. Unbelievable. Mesidus Nefesh. So, okay, let's do a second shaila. Unbelievable cute shaila in Varev Nov from Rabbi Zilberstein, the son-in-law of Rav Eliashiv. No, we're still on the first page. So he says that they got a phone call like this. Rav Eliashiv got a phone call like this. There was a younger man. He went with his family on a trip. I don't have a copy of this on this thing. And Bekitzer, he was coming back from the north. It's a 3-hour drive, and the Egged bus was packed. with 5 kids. Keiner geht sich nicht genug. No one cares. He's standing with 5 kids on the bus. And so he's so hard. He doesn't know what to do. It was a couple of years ago. That was the time there was a disease called swine disease. It was swine flu. So Bekit said, Chavman flips open this phone. He calls his wife. He says, "Shaifel ich kim tzedek." And give him by the doctor. He says, and he talks half in Hebrew, so that people are loud. And the doctor sagt, meint the swine disease. Yo. So barachem mishamayim at this. Next stop, half the bus went off. See, he said, hey, this kids. When he got home, he felt a little bad. Maybe he did the wrong thing. So he asked Rav Zilberstein, who asked his father-in-law. So he said his father-in-law told him that definitely the guy did the wrong thing. The Gemara says in Baba Basel Daf Chav Gimel that Gerama ben Azokin is osur. You're goydem a person. If you do be a daim a hezek, you have to pay a person. But if you goydem a hezek, he was goydem a hezek. They were lost time. They might have lost a fear. Imamish was mazik people. He didn't do it be a daim. He just caused it with a trick. Not only that, Rabbi Yasher said he has to do tshuva, and he doesn't know how to pay the people back for their time, so he should give the money to tzedakah. But then Rabbi Yasher said that the Gemara says, and then the payer, that kol mi she'enei loy suma, loy piseyach, loy chiger, v'oisa atzma k'achad mehem, einei meis min hazikna ad she'yu k'achad mehem. That it's a terrible thing for a person to make believe. A person that the Parsha say he wants to get sympathy from people. There's Nebach HaMachla, there are people that they want to get sympathy. Rachmana litzlan, it's such a terrible thing. They're healthy, and they want people to think that they're sick. Rachmana litzlan. And why is it such a terrible thing? The Parsha say it's because when you see a beautiful bria, you say, oh, Baruch Hashem, the Eibishter made such a, and this guy is making as if he has a mum. It's like a bizoin to the Eibishter. So there's a famous story from the Alter Rebbe that they complained about Chassidim that they make it, and that they fake it, and they're not really. They fake it that they're Yiddish Shemayim, and they're not such big Yiddish Shemayim. The Alter Rebbe said that's the Feirish Gemishin and then the Peya that Yochel Mish Ein Eloi Chiger V'Eloi Suma V'Eloi Seach V'Oisa Atzma Ka'achel Mehem Ein Meisum Zikna Chia Ka'achel Mehem. Because they fake it, so the Eibishter tells them that they're not going to die before the Be'emes be a Yiddish Shemayim.
And definitely not till the Zakanim. It says it'll be a Zakin.
So the double bracha. There'll be a Zakin plus there'll be a Yiddish Shemayim. Then Rabbi Yasher said that he got once an interesting shaila. It wasn't a shaila, but so he said a doctor told him that he was sitting on a bus, and there was a bocher, and the bocher was listening to or learning it. So he was learning a Mishnayos. And there was a guy came on. He was listening to loud music, Israeli with a nose ring, and the guy was sitting and the Bach was trying to learn his Mishnayos, and he was like curling up, and the guy gives him a jab. He says, "Why are you curling up as in the zay? Why are you scared of me?" He said, "No, I feel bad. I came back now from the Shari Tzedek hospital. I was diagnosed with chruspedin." The guy said, "Is it catchy?" He said, "Yeah, it's very catchy." Guy stood up, he walked to the back of the bus. This guy is a doctor, and he's wondering, he never heard of such a diagnosis. So he walked over to the Bach, he says, "Excuse me, I'm a doctor, I just never heard of this." So the Bach smiled, he said that in Bamidbar, Perek Tezvav, it says, also, I can't remember the name, but also, Tzitzis, ala Tzitzis, akona besel Sheilos. The uncle says that the Tzitzis is chruspedin. And he really is coming now. He was Mevaka Choyla in the Shari Tzedek hospital.
He didn't have it.
And he really is wearing tzitzis. And mitzvah geredes mitzvah, so it's very catchy. Since he's wearing chruspedin, could be that this guy also will start wearing chruspedin.
You shouldn't explain it because then he says, "So why are you getting away from me? Don't you want to be Makar with me?"
The Rabbi Yasher laughed. He said it was not a bad thing. He says, "Okay. It's true, he didn't lie. He didn't lie, he really has chruspedin and it's really catchy."
Well, he kind of did lie because he implied that he didn't want to give it to him. He didn't want him to catch it.
Right, because he's curling up.
Yeah, you should have hugged him to catch Crispin.
But not everybody holds the chruspedin. So.
I don't know. This guy looked like he had pretty eclectic interest. One day he was listening to his music, like, and then on the other hand he's a doctor, so he's.
No, it's two different people. The doctor was a frum guy sitting on the other side of the bus.
my
He
God.
saw what happened, so he walked over to
he
the
asked what's
bacher.
Kruspadin?
He says, "I never heard of this Kruspadin."
I thought that
Kruspadin. The doctor later told the story to Rabbi Eliashiv, and he asked him what he thinks about it. So Eliashiv said, he thinks the Bachar did right. It's true, he didn't lie.
why would he have a Sheilos? Like, what was the Sheilos? Like, the Bachar lied? Like, what was it?
He's at the Bachar lied.
Because he wasn't. For Al Shalom, you're allowed to say something that's false. That's not false. It's unforgivable. Yeah. So what was even the Sheilos? Like, he didn't want to hear this guy's music. So he moved over, so he shouldn't hear the music, and he didn't want the guy to feel bad, like he needs a cootie shot.
He doesn't want to do B'Tal Torah too.
Right, so I don't understand what he did wrong, why the guy even had a Sheilos. It's a Litvisher story.
Third, let's go.
What's the Havamina?
I agree with you.
Torah asking the question.
What kind of Sheilos is that? I'm like, gosh. And also the fact that he didn't even want to give him sitters. Faked, I have chutzpah. I said we would want to give it to him. I knew right away it could be a Lubavitcher story. The Lubavitcher would say, I would want to give him my Kruspadin, right?
Hey, come on.
That's crazy.
Next, so we have two things in the Parsha, two contemporary Sheilos. One is, I mentioned this to you last week, that they say. So the chief rabbinate in Israel issued a thing last week when there was an attack, chemical attack, against the citizens in Duma.
Guta.
Oh, Guta was. So Bekitzer, Israel is unbelievable. The Kiddush Hashem they make in the world. Whenever there's a disaster. Now, as we speak, there's doctors in Israel who are helping children from Syria.
Sure.
They have special unit just to go to
A
hell.
special camp.
They also have ways of getting them without making a storm about it.
It's unbelievable.
Didn't they put up with missiles being launched over them?
It's unbelievable what Israel does, and the humanitarian, they're always there.
Whenever there's an earthquake anywhere, there's always
This tiny country that's in battle,
That's how they bombed Syria, right?
and then you have these rich countries that are billions, are sitting in billions. So the question here is, so they issued a thing that it's a mitzvah for Jews to get involved to help those children. So I just figured to just give a look at
the
why.
Rabbi Paskin, you saying?
Yeah, that's what they said in the news. I don't know if it's true or not.
Oh.
So I figured I'll give a look at the sugya. The Gemara says a very interesting thing in Baba Basra Daf Yud. Gemara says that the mother of Shmuel Malka sent 400 zuz to Rabbi Ami. Rabbi Ami refused.
On the first page?
Yeah, it's still on first. We'll get there in a second. Yeah, she sent him 400 zuz. He refused to take it. He said that the pasuk said that bivoish ketzira tishavarna, when a branch, when you want it to break, it has to dry up. When it's still juicy and there's connected to the tree, once it dries up easily, it breaks. If the Yidden will let the goyim have schusim, it'll make that the golus will be longer. So the Yidden have to make that the goyim should have less schusim.
So why does the Rebbe push mitzvahs?
Because it's a different type of schus. The Meforshim say the goyim should give tzedakah to goyim. Not only that, we'll see in a second, that if they give tzedakah to goyim and Yidden together, also fine. But if they're giving a sum of money with a special Hashem Yichud for tzedakah to the Jews, then that's too much of a schus for them, and that and the Yidden shouldn't take it.
It's a pellet.
Yeah, it's a
The
pellet.
Medrash says that lost the love of the guy. We're going to say we built the bridges for you.
Right, exactly.
The only reason why it's we don't believe them is because we say they did it for
That they did it for a ulterior
Had
motive.
They did it for us.
Then would be a problem.
Right.
Right,
No, but
exactly.
I know it, but there'll be a schus for them.
So, but we don't want them to have the schus. The Eibishter says, no, you did it for ulterior motives. You did it for your own good. So therefore in other words, you're out.
But
Exactly.
but it's after the fact. And then once Mashiach comes and they're makir Kodesh Baruch Hu, so we would give them schar if they made it l'shem shemayim. That's what it's much from the Medrash.
But also a Kabbalah, because there's a famous thing that the Rebbe talks about in Halach Ma'anya, that Yosef HaTzadik made a mistake by giving he gave too much koyach to the klippah, so that gave them the power to have such a strong hand over the Jews, and we're like sort of fixing it.
Okay, so maybe certain mitzvahs are out of bounds, but
It's a Pelodike Gemara, but that's what the Gemara says. And the Gemara says that Rabbi Ami heard that she sent the money to Rava, and he was makbid against Rava. And the Gemara says that Rabbi Ami made a mistake. Really, Rava agrees with Rabbi Ami. And what he did was, he gave that tzedakah to the goyim. He took the whole money, he gave it to tzedakah to goyim. Rashi says, that's Genevas das. How are you allowed to do such a thing? She sent it as, if you don't want to take the tzedakah, send it back, like Rabbi Ami. The Gemara says he took it Misholam Malchus. He didn't want to have a problem with the government. So, but still, it's Genevas das. And Rashi says, it's not Genevas das, because the Gemara says in Daf Samachalef in Gittin, that you're mefarnes ani Yisrael im ani goyim. That you have to mefarnes because of dark shalom. When you give tzedakah to the poor Jewish people, you should also give to the goyim. And from here, by the way, we see that it doesn't mean while you're giving. In other words, you say like you have a masbia kitchen. So while you're feeding the Jews, if a guy walks in, don't refuse him. But we see from here, this Rashi, that even if the entire sum is going to the goyim, so Israel is sending a mission to Haiti, and they know there's 0 Yidden there. Still, it's a mitzvah, and that's why it wasn't considered. No, it didn't do anything wrong. Klape, she sent the money to the Jews. He didn't trick her or fool her, because Jews are also obligated to give tzedakah to the goyim. So the fact that he gave it to the goyim, so on the one hand he didn't trick her, on the other hand she didn't have that amazing schus of giving tzedakah to a yid. It's unbelievable. And this is brought to la halacha, and this is brought to la halacha in Shulchan Aruch, in the Siman Reish and Yeredeya, in Siman Reish Nun Aleph and Reish Nun Daled. And Reish Nun Aleph it says that you should give tzedakah to goyim, and Reish Nun Daled it says you're not allowed to take tzedakah from goyim. 3 exceptions. One is if you need it, you could take it quietly, but not publicly. Number 2, if you have no choice, you can even take it publicly. Number 3, if they're giving it to goyim and yidden equally, it's not like just for the yidden. So then the schus is not so big. The Taz says, and you could take it.
Christians United for Israel, they give millions of dollars, hundreds of millions.
It's a
of
big
dollars.
shaila. That's a big shaila. Because
The
that's...
Yidden are in sakana, so why?
If there's a tzorech, you're supposed to take it quietly,
Right.
and if you can't, you should take it publicly. So that's the thing. This is the shaila for the Moshe. This is the shaila of Moshe.
They give money for
$3 billion from
they-
America.
Oh,
They
now
pay for
why
Aliyah.
could we take money from the government? I was thinking it's stam another thing. We pay taxes. It's supposed to be a social network. Who was it that made FDR started this thing?
New Deal.
The New Deal, right? So what's the shot of the New Deal? It's not tzedakah. The New Deal was
Reapportioning wealth.
not tzedakah. So V'meila, so a person could say, "Punkt today he's down for a meshach zman. He's down. If he's going to be matzliach in business, he's going to make money. He's going to pay so much taxes that for every dollar he's taking today, he's going to be paying back the government $100 for a dollar. So it's nicht gefährlich, because it's a new deal. It's not the pshat that this is betoyed tzedakah. This was a deal, a society deal.
What does that have to do with Eretz Yisrael?
No. I'm just saying,
so
if
they
people
get-
that take
Section 8 and all that.
Section 8,
As long as they really need it.
Everyone needs ET cards.
They're not going to make it. And they're not going to make it
You're
kill
not-
us.
right. All these things, vouchers and such stuff.
It's sinner.
You said about the Christians
They throw it down like a
giving Israel.
basket.
I know in a frat, they have 2 guys from a frat, American Israeli, they travel all over the world, and they have parnasa for him, beautiful parnasa. They get percentage or something, but they give them addresses, go to here, go to there, they travel here, and they collect so much money for Israel, and they make parnasa themselves.
They're working for who?
They have organization in the government. They have organization that they're sending them. They give them addresses.
So
go there.
they're relying on this tshuva. So let's this tshuva on this sugi. Look at this second, the first paragraph, the first column,
Can you just
second
grab
paragraph.
one more thing? When the Yidden didn't they say that the Goyim, if they would have known how much the Karbonis did for them,
They would have sent
they would have
guards,
sent guards.
right?
So we're helping the Goyim when we do Karbonis.
Right. So there's some things you're allowed to take, some things like korbanos you're allowed to take because it's
I'm saying to do for them.
you're allowed to take korbanos from a goyim also, and you're
Right,
allowed to,
oh.
and you're allowed to teach them how to bring korbanos.
So was it Teretz?
I guess it needs a wider to understand because here I guess they're giving the money to the yid. Here is they're bringing a korban that's brought for them. The coin is like
Why are
doing
we
a service.
Mechan and them would be?
Because they have to think, they have to serve a Kadosh Baruch Hu.
So that means Zayin Nitzes too.
Zayin is also allowed to teach them, but that's between them and the Eibishter. They have to give tzedakah. But one of the things that Rashi said, there's two reasons why, and one of the main reasons why the tzedakah taken from a guy is negative, because it's a Chilul Hashem. What's the Chilul Hashem?
That God can't provide for us, we need a guy too.
We need a guy. And the opposite is a Kiddush Hashem. When the Jewish organizations are helping Goyin, so you see, there's an organization, Hebrew Free Loans.
Society.
Yeah, Hebrew Free Loan Society. So they're helping today so many minorities start business. They're helping minorities start business. It's a big Kiddush Hashem. My only problem is that they should also help the Yid.
Right.
So,
But isn't it usher to give a free loan to a guy? Don't you have to charge them at least?
but they're doing it b'torah tzedakah. In other words, they're doing it to people that have a disadvantage, and they're helping them set up a business. And it's not stam. They give them a business loan and they send advisors. I have a sister who was on the board on the.
I'll advise that they should, like you said, help the Jews, but also the like Clinton ruined America's economy. It wasn't Obama and it wasn't Bush. It was Clinton.
Why?
Because he gave hundreds of billions of dollars from government-backed securities, from mortgages, and there was no documentation that was needed. So they got these 4% loans, and that's how the whole Great Recession started. Because all these loans became due, and they couldn't pay them, and the banks got
No,
seriously.
but Hebrew Free, what they do,
on
they work,
bankruptcy.
they work like with a business. They give them advice, and they work with them very closely.
So
they have
they weed out the people that aren't real.
very strong. They cannot
That's
have
good.
100% return. Now, the
100%
money comes back.
Yeah?
Zero default.
How can
Yeah.
that be? 50% of small
I know
businesses.
that. There's
because
zero
they
there.
I was
are-
saying with 0% of small businesses in America fail. More than 50%.
So they
I think
they
it's
work
70%.
with the businesses. They give them advice.
They make you nuts. Till you
They
get that
make you-
loan.
exactly.
They make you nuts.
Okay,
Right.
but Yidden are still smart, but they can't have a 100% banning rate. If in the Welt Rhein it's 30%.
They're vetting good people.
I understand, but even if they vet every
No,
loan,
and then they vet them and then they work with
That's
them. to
crazy.
make sure they
It's
go.
unbelievable.
Listen,
That's what they
a
claim.
goyish cup is a goyish cup. You
But
can
they claim that they have
They give them between
Million.
25
Free loans.
25,000 a pop.
Oh.
25,000 a pop.
Okay.
That's a significant
that. I'll
amount.
take
You'll
that.
take it, right? So let's look at
Maybe
emotion.
your sister can set him up.
That's my time with her. I always ask her, are you still helping also the Yidden? I just want to know if you're also helping the Yidden.
Maybe she'll have a soft spot for shluchim.
It has to be a business. That's what
He's
I
got the best business.
I know.
No return on the money.
Exactly.
Right.
What's the best nation, as Abe Stein says? Donation. He's doing nation building. He's nation building.
B'dvarsha Yehudim, look at the second paragraph from the first column. Shadvudim roitzim lasas banket lekovet goy be'eze ulam kedei sheyave b'shvila harba orchim v'isnadvel b'shvila yavur advar mitzvah. They're gonna. The guest of honor will be Cory Booker. The guest of honor will be Donald Trump. The guest of honor will be Mario Cuomo. Chris Christie. Good.
Better have a nice buffet.
Getting funnier.
Ein loimer shehu davar aser mamish. The Moshe says l'chayre, or what you would say, it's aser mamish. Mitzad b'yevoish katzira sheisa b'babasa daf yud kimin. Shema sheiskabetz l'tzdok al yodeh herikevenos ein lo mitzvah elo l'kovich ein b'zeh schus mitzvah kol kach. He says when Donald Trump is a guest of honor and he comes to dinner, it's not the pshat that he's taking tzedakah out of his pocket. He's letting you use his name to put on the invitation. So Memela, other people want to rub shoulders with him will come. And Hagufa that they're doing, he's doing it is for his covet. Everyone's trying to get covet here. The Moised is trying to use him for covet, and he's trying to. So Memela, that's not like the story in the Gemara where she Pashat went, she wrapped up 400 gold coins and she sent it to Rabbi, which is a huge schus. It's not such a big schus. It's similar like the Taz says. If she sent Yidden and Goyim, whoever gets online gets it. That's already mutter.
Rabbi, these people I said about the Goyim,
Collecting from the Goyim.
collector, they come twice a year to Israel. He bring them like 50, 100. He take them all over the Israeli bases, army, to the government offices. He make them big
Cover.
covered, and he show them, and he can go any place you want. if they bring so much money, so the government gave them permission,
Like they get VIP.
big VIP, they make them big dinner,
And
and
they get the helicopter over the West Bank to the ocean.
they show them everything,
Sure.
all over Israel. It's unbelievable. I went one time to a dinner with him. He likes me because I was in the army, we were talking, and it's unbelievable. It's like high class dinner. You have to get dressed,
Because
security.
Israel needs it. It's
That's
when
it.
when
That's
it's
it.
when it's when you have no choice. That's what Moshe is going to say here. V'im
Their whole-
b'shvil.
Their whole agenda is to Rahman al-Islam, convert Jews.
Oh well, and that
100%.
organization is
Yeah.
a danger. I'm not talking about
Yeah.
that organization.
Yeah.
I'm saying if you're going, America is giving money, or they're getting from private donors, and they're goyim. No, this organization
Christians
is a
United
dan-
for Israel.
That's a dangerous
are
one.
Only
That's
interested
a
in
very
in
dangerous
Shema.
thing. We're not talking about that. That's
Yeah.
that's to be kept out of this
Right,
discussion.
Right.
V'im
No,
b'shvil-
but they're not proselytizing openly. That's just their dream.
Yeah,
There are those that
but
proselytize
still.
and those that dream about
It's
it.
the Gemara talks about if you're allowed to go to a doctor who's a kusi or a tzduki, even though right now he's not whispering in your ear anything, but you say eventually you're going to become a good
There's
friend
a lot
with
of
him.
Arab doctor. You go to any hospital, a lot of Arab.
Yeah, but this is different. This is an organization, and they have a certain dream about. They have a certain vision. It's not like these guys are coming to America and collecting money from goyim. I think the Moshe is talking about your case. There's a parlor meeting or there's a dinner, and the goy agrees to be the guest of honor.
John Voight.
What does it? Vim b'shvil tam chilul Hashem shetzorich lanochri lisa berashi. They're taking tzedakah from a goy. So there's two problems taking tzedakah from a goy. One is you're giving them too much schusim, and that makes the golus too long. Number one, it's a chilul Hashem. Lisa berashi sanhedrin daf chavav etam zanifsek la'alocha b'samareshon dalad in Yeridei sif aleph kedisa betaz shach tzivkot and aleph ayin sham shakavone v'ze bizoyin laYehudim shegam ze nechshav l'chilul Hashem. Harei im I efshar lichtis b'tzedakah shel Yisrael ve'en yochel likol manocha b'tzina harei ze muter kedisa b'sehem shechnar Hashem. The fact that Shechnar says that if you have no choice, you can take a betzina, and if you have further no choice, you can even take the tzedakah from the goy b'farhesia. Im ken harei efshar shagaboyim menaylim moised that tzedakah lo yuchel lahasik achrachis avur a mitzvah mitzvah shel Yisrael shelachen ein iser im ha'emes kain. If the truth is they have no choice, they're gonna get the guest of honor will be Chaim Yankel. Who's gonna come to the dinner? The guest will be this guy, the goy godel, and a lot of people will come. So if they taka need the money, that's mutter.
So this definitely not a summer dinner they're talking about.
No.
Really?
You hear
Because
this?
they don't know who the guy. They don't know who Donald Trump. I mean, well, Donald Trump they know, but
They don't know.
John Voight they have no idea.
There was only seller dinners. You don't know who's sitting up there?
Who's sitting?
The mayor.
Everybody's sitting up
Yeah, the
there.
No,
mayor.
but that's
no.
different.
Every diplomat
Read to the
sitting
end.
up there.
Every wannabe mayor is sitting up there.
Every one of them.
חולף נו עניין מחור שאין לה גבויים מנהלים של מועצת צדוקה לעשות זה אף שאין בזה איסו ממש וטריחו להשתדל לעשות כל הצורך מיהודים וחבים במצווה והם צריכים לעשות בקנט לאיזה נוכרי שעושה טויבה לבני העיר לקורס טויבה על מה שעושה למקבר ולא למטורס הסופס כסופים הוא דבר המותר ממש. If it's politicians and you have to give cover to politicians, it's a different thing. Make 100 dinners. That's not the issue here. Politicians, Muslim kriegen COVID because you need to have things from them. It's a different thing. It's pay for play. It's an andere Sache im Ganzen. It's a different thing. That's what it is. It's mutter mamish. You want to make a banquet and you want to honor a politician. That's mutter mamish. But to use as a
Guest of honor.
guest of honor a goy, that's he says it's a davar mechur. It's mechur. He says number one, there's the issue of giving too much schusim to the guy. Number two, there's taking tzedakah, which is a chilul Hashem. He says you could push both away. You could say, he's doing it for his covet. It's not a big schus. If you have no choice, but he thinks it's a davar mechur. But the opposite, Yidden giving to goyim, is a faket, is a big kiddush Hashem.
If you use a guy, a politician, as the guest of honor,
It's an andere Sache. Yeah, it's an andere Sache. It's an
But you know, the Rebbe once wrote about Satmar. They were honoring one of the mayors who was into allowing all kinds of Meshuggah Nezachim. And then in those days it was Meshuggah, today it's regular. But all kinds of,
so it's never sure of them.
yeah. So the Rebbe didn't speak to them directly, but someone was tiny that Lubavitch allows Sionim leaders to be at their dinners. So Rebbe says, what about your dinners where they have all these politicians that are allowing every nevela and the, you know,
Right.
the Garua.
Right.
So I'm saying, so you think even if this mayor who's helping the Yidden, but he's also allowing parades, would that be allowed?
Not only worse than being
I
a
don't
guy.
know. I don't know.
I'm not following you.
In other words, if the mayor is a guy, that's already the ultimate
No, but
deny. So if he's also pro something
No, but
negative,
also could be that
No,
Rebbe
why is that a
talking-
good night? There were American New York politicians that were very moral. Jacob Javits he was Jewish, but there were some mayors that were against goyish gay parades. But a guy like Koch, he was marched there Rosh Hashanah.
he went himself.
Yeah,
But Koch was a Yid.
right, but he was still represented the worst
saying-
No,
paid.
good. But the Rebbe's point is just understand it because they're making tinus that we're being Makar of Yidden.
Yeah.
And they're
No, we're being Makarvin and Apikorsim.
Right.
They're Choyte Maktes Rabin. So I was saying, you're telling us, you're being, you're right, it was a Jew, so it's not really so.
right. But I don't know. You have to know the story and the details. One more shaila, if we. So there's an interesting shaila. Yeah, 4 cases.
Rabbi, can I ask a question? What if it's like for their knowledge? What if you have it's a learning thing, and maybe they're like
To
an
teach the
expert in
goyim?
science? No, if it's a goy teaching actually a group of
And he wanted
Jews.
to honor him.
Well,
To get if it's
it's
pay
like-
for play is no problem. Pay for play is no problem.
Well, it's like maybe it's a doctor, and they're talking about a certain
And they need his services. If you need to honor someone to get his services, a different thing.
By the way, mutter paper play.
Huh?
I'm saying mutter paper.
Yeah, Chas v'shalom not.
Can't bribe him.
Shmulik said that
No,
there's
there's legal bribes and there's illegal bribes.
yeah, the versteht sich, only the kosher.
Give a nice donation to the campaign fund.
There's
Yeah,
a,
it's not, if you do it, if you write the check to the right.
We're learning about this in the headlines right now.
there was a schlissel challah. His wife put in the challah and then she forgot and it got burnt. And he was so nervous that it's a bad simon. So he came to his Rebbe and he asked, "A burnt challah." So he said, "It's a gross simon. So you're going to make a fortune on the black market." Chometz Achar Pesach. So there's a big story now with the beer. It was funny. I was looking at the circular, and the store says, "Oh, we bought supply of beer till Shavuos." There's a story. What was the story before Pesach? Weißt du, it was unbelievable thing. You could see how one young man could do something. Rabbi Donya Levi was giving a shir about this. Apparently, one of the biggest distributors of beer in the United States is a Yid, and he's not from with a twist. And he doesn't sell his chametz, and beer is and beer is chametz mamish, and it's not like something which is some stuff that are flour, pasta, cereal. They don't stay for that long. They're going to start having creepy crawlies in them. Companies want to get them out as quick as possible. Beer apparently turnover is a longer.
Long life.
Yeah, they
You
have
don't
a shelf
do beer,
life.
you don't do beer on the beer.
Exactly. You have to do yes. That's a problem. The kids. So this year he was giving a shir about this. It's funny. No, mittem mal jetzt alle geworden from. So now there was a younger man there. Forget the name. His wife is at one of the popular teachers of Menachem. No, it's another younger man. He's an Adam by the Shiva in 770.
Weinfeld.
Yeah, Weinfeld. He heard the shir. He said, "You know what? Let me try." He got through to that guy, and the guy was maskim.
Wow.
And he sold his chametz.
Wow.
Now all of a sudden came along Peter the Frumakis. He said, but this guy, his business is opened on Yom Tov. He's buying and selling. He signed the verb, but so Mela, the mechira is worth 0. So so this happens to be an old shaila. It happens to be this didn't start yesterday. The shaila didn't start. But anyway, there's a bottom line is.
Why did he try and get him to agree for that week to not to be the Baal boss? Couldn't be, right?
No, he masking. He was masking, but Lapoil, he's walked into the business and he's doing business as usual.
No, but it's like on Shabbos, right? Like if you have someone has like a chef open on Shabbos, so that day the guy owns that the proceeds from that day.
Yeah, that's the deal.
So why can't he make it the 7 days?
True, he could do it, but Lapoil, he's coming in.
Okay,
so
he's coming in not because he wants to make sure that the workers are doing their work or something.
All the Syrian they
Look.
open Shabbos the business, and that day they're paying all the goyim the salary. They're the manager.
Right.
He collect all the money. He said, "This is paying. This is the God head for that."
Look at the second
You get
page.
it?
Look at the second page. Shuvi Sakti, Sheilos at Shuva Sheilos. It happens to be 3 pages in this day Chemet. It's an old child of people that already 100 years ago were. So, for example, look at the first column, the last 3 lines. Shoyel Meishiv Madura Teshisoa V'Yisi B'Simen Nun Shenishel Al Shnas Tofrei Shud Beis Shoya Erev Pesach B'Shabbos Eich Lasas B'Yayin Tzorf Shemoichrim Hashenks V'Tzarche Limker Lanochri B'Erev Shabbos if to sell the goy the chametz Erev Shabbos Imkein HaBalabatim Sheregilim Lishtis Yayin Tzorf Balel Shabbos V'Koinem HaKofa. Friday night they would do business. They would sell. People would come into the shenk, and then they would, they'd pay afterwards.
Kretschmer, you mean?
The Kretschmer, exactly. So, but how could you sell the
Friday night if you already sold.
You already sold Erev Shabbos the chametz. So there's a whole pill. Just read another
What's
3
the
lines.
shayla? What's the shayla?
They sold Friday. They sold the chametz to the goy. Right.
Matzah
Now-
Shabbos is the first sin.
Right. Matzah Shabbos the first say. The Erev Shabbos the goy bought the chametz. Friday night the Jew wants to open the shenk.
Friday night's Pesach.
It's not Pesach.
No,
No,
Matzah
but
Shabbos.
Shabbos, Shabbos HaGodel.
Oh, okay.
He wants to do business.
So why wasn't it Chal right before Yom Pesach?
Oh, so that's one of the eitzes they have. They should make a deal with the goy that we're making a
Part of
kinyan
it.
now, but the kinyan is not chal.
That's
till
what we
Tov.
always do, right? That's how the Mechir always is, isn't it?
Chila is chal. That's second.
That second?
That's
Because you
second.
sell it, bisman.
Rachmana litzlan to
Why
make
can't it
any.
be Chal this day, the second the Isra of Chometz happens?
That's not what we do lepoil. And so this is an eitzah that they found. Today I was at Yom Tiv and it was 5:00 and someone in Beis Menachem Mendel called me up that his friend didn't sell the chametz and he has a good liquor in his house. He doesn't know what to do. So I said, "What's the shayla? What to do?" He was mavatal chametz, so he's out of town, whatever. Well, I'll tell him exactly what to do. The nearest sink and the nearest toilet after Pesach, and that's it. So
Because he wasn't Mavatal it either,
what's the difference?
made a hefker.
So what?
He's
But
still-
still in his house.
but it's not his.
He didn't sell a chametz. He didn't put the bottles of whiskey out in the street. If you keep chametz in your house,
Even if you're
choshev
Mavatal?
chametz,
Away.
what can tucked away in your closet?
That's
When the
hefker.
bittul is things that the little bagel that's under the couch,
Cheerios in the corner.
Something that's
the
Choshev, you're saying you can't be Mavatal it?
etz minion that the guy wants to sell it now. So
Shows
why
it's
does he
not
want to
valid.
sell it? Why does he want to
We're
sell
talking
it?
about an honest person. He doesn't want to play games. You're saying this guy played games?
He didn't play games. He forgot to sell his chametz.
Right, so
Here, there's a
so
story.
Did he remember to
This
did
guy,
he remember to be Mavatal it?
sure, he was mevatel it.
So then why do we penalize him and ask
In
him to throw it
Ramat
out?
Shlomo, there's a story. This
And the
guy
guy
forgot,
burnt all his,
and they
that
burnt
was
all
on
the chametz.
Pesach. That was on Pesach.
But he was mevatel the chametz. He was mevatel the
That's fine,
chametz.
but he did on Pesach.
Isn't there a story?
Because this got in more business than anything. This story. He's the biggest chometz seller now in the world from this story. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just
Not
saying.
a real
I don't-
hefker. Not a real hefker. When you're saying everything about all the chametz.
What's this a hefker? It is a hefker.
You don't really mean
He-
that.
What's the chilik? It's a hefker. You can't say the hefker. You're being makat.
Why does he
And
want-
thousands of Jews are
I'm
eating.
saying, why did he want to sell the chametz?
I asked him if he's doing it lehachis or he's a yokel.
No,
He
got
forgot
the-
to sell his
If
chametz.
he's still trying to sell it. He forgot.
Now 1 second. You're allowed. To, there's two inyan Chazal saying you sell. The reason why we sell it. What's the reason why we sell it? Not mevatel. Even though lechatchila you could just be mevatel it. You say it's hefker and it's bittul. You have your vire or you can put it in a closet and it's just as good.
There's two different
What does the
chametz.
semach tzedek salt chametz do?
It's two different chametz. There's the chametz that you really want to make hefker, which is the bagel that's under the couch. And then there is a bottle of whiskey that costs $250. You're really not making it hefker. It doesn't matter what you say, but we know what's in a person's heart. Now, if tak in the person's heart, it's hefker mamish.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to think the way Hoylach Yosher. Hoylach Yosher is if a bottle of whiskey is worth $250.
But he knows he's going to be over on their Issa Skila. He's going to keep a $250 bottle.
He not has nothing to do with this skila. Does he really want to make it hefker or not?
Yes, because otherwise he's over on Skila.
Okay.
So if he wanted to make it hefker, what does he care about spilling it out?
Yeah, dumping the thing.
He's only making hefker for a week.
No, exactly. He's not doing it forever. He's not doing it forever.
It's not like
That's why he's. That's why he keep
If he
mevatel.
really wanted to make it hefker, he had no problem spilling it in the sink.
I'm glad you have a limit school
No,
for
if
him.
he has to.
He even
if the
found the
halacha
better
is that he
though.
has to still it in his
Sheesh, I'm happy
If he
nobody
had-
took it.
He really has to still it in the sink. That he's
It's
really
hefker and
hefker.
his door's locked.
Yeah.
He has a big sign hefker with bars and a security guy. He's standing in there. What is that? Oh, that's not
I'm
hefker.
telling you, because if he really wants to be, if he's a really another guy, then he would pour it out if he had to. But if Halacha says he doesn't have to, he won't.
Yes, remember?
One second. You know you know how much every liquor store has a $50,000 of mashke in there.
They sell
At
it.
least.
They better sell it.
They do.
Yeah.
Let's say he forgot. He has to go pour it all out. Let's say he forgot to sell it.
So
He was
go on
mavafker.
Pesach.
He wasn't over on Pesach because he was mavafker it.
It's not. It's locked.
Why did Chazal say to be mafker chametz? Why?
It's not hefker.
Because depends which
for the thing under the
chametz.
couch.
For the,
Not only the cows, any chametz.
There's been stories
Joseph,
throughout our
Joseph,
generations
here's a
of
question
the
for you.
owners of mashke.
Because they
throwing out
didn't.
the mashke.
Because they were going to the
Yeah.
Lefnim Shras Adin. But I'll be
no, depends with no. The stories of Lefnim Shurus Adin was when the people later. There is a story, a famous story, with one of the Gedolei Yisrael, I forget the name, and there was a story with the Palotz. He came from Palotz.
The Be'er Man Chaim.
Was Be'er Man Chaim, and
He opened the bull's taps after Yom Tov.
After Yom Tov.
The Goyim came with
They were
buckets.
licking it off the
They were
floors.
licking it. The dogs were licking it. Everybody got involved.
But the story there was that he couldn't sell it to a goy, so he said he screamed out Hefker, and he opened the locks and he left.
Yes.
Came back to he came back from Polotsk. He lived outside Polotsk, and he came back from after Yom Tov, and they see there were and they no one
danced.
touched anything. What happened? There were two dogs that were standing there, and they were ferocious dogs.
Wow.
And as when he came to things, the dogs walked over and they licked his hands, and they disappeared back into the forest. No one ever saw those dogs before and after. So he came to so he came to the Rav, who was a Gon Otzam, the Rav of Polotsk, and he asked him what to do. He said, well, you declared that it's Hefker. The fact that Goyim couldn't drink it because the dogs, it's their business. They should have shot the dogs. Who told them to be scared of the dogs? Remela, it's mutter.
It wasn't his dog.
He wasn't his dog. He went and he was still felt bad, and he opened up the taps.
That's right.
And the Goyim, the whole town was up.
And one of the Rebbes, he'll have a great son. He'll be a great
And
boy.
his son was one of the big tzaddikim
Right.
from this story.
The Be'er Mayim Chaim.
The Be'er Mayim Chaim?
He called him Be'er Mayim Chaim
Because of this. Okay, I want to finish very quickly this. Just the top 3 lines of here in Nasifas Dinim. He says, Im keina balabatim sheregilim lishtus yain soda balal Shabbos keina makof vanocher shekona chamas lim keina makof shemak roisem im yirtza balavais limker yevatel hamechira. These are the 2 key words that if you're gonna do business, you sold the chametz to the goy, and then you're opening up your business and you're opening up your thing and the cash register. So it's a joke. You're showing the world that this mechira means nothing. Okay. There's 3 pages Dechemet stories that happened in Europe 100 years ago. Okay, that's a mahalach.
Next Sunday.
However, there is the Chelkas Yaakov to Rav in the Bronx, on the last page, and the Chelkas Yaakov, and the Moshe Feinstein agrees with it. The same
I
thing.
didn't say that Yaakov lived in the Bronx. Maybe it's him.
I don't know. No, Chelkas Yaakov was saved by the SS. 1933, they came into his house. They beat the living daylights out of him, and they made a parade in the city where everyone spat at him. At the end, there was a fire. He thought they're going to kill him. And there was one German officer who was 1933 still, who said, "What? That Rabbi?" He snatched him away and he took him in his car, and took him away from this whole parade. He went to his house. He took his talis and film. The guy drove him to the border, and he went to Switzerland.
Wow.
In Zurich, in Zurich there was a shul, Agudas Achim, and they took him as a Rav. And he is considered one of the biggest poskim. I mean, if you look, like my cousin wrote of Mafteach HaGodl on all the contemporary poskim. So he took 10 Silas of Chuvas. He took Moshe Feinstein. He took Rabbi Vadia Yosef. 10, and one of them is the Chelkas Yaakov. He was he was a Mordecai Talmid Chochem, but he was saved by the SS.
Amazing. Through a miracle.
Because
The
he
Frierdiker
realized
was also
that,
saved
huh?
by the SS. The Frierdiker was also
No,
saved.
but that was
Not like
different.
that.
There's a Skafi and his Hapcha.
But
But
tells that story. I want to hear the story with the SS.
you have to. Why don't you buy the book from Rabbi Alta B'Tzei
It's in there.
Yeah, it's very kedai to buy it.
A rogue struggle?
No, Out of the Inferno. He did a lot of research on this on the story.
I don't think anyone knew the story before then, right?
Unbelievable story. Unbelievable story.
These even flies.
It's unbelievable. But they did it with COVID.
Right.
They did it with COVID. They brought him to Berlin. It's just unreal.
Unbelievable.
Unreal. Chen v'ni amoiche chometz v'pesach b'veneseinu rabim. Iyoch las shliach chavuri k'ai gavna. Kanog. Kedei shelo yosa chemtzu b'shochanusa l'achar pesach v'herich v'ze b'bekiyaz v'charifus v'roitz l'shmoi chavaz daiti. The last page. Lefi ani is daiti nida. The loy lak shemutorim likrechevtze. The Rav in the Bronx asked, if people that are coming to sell the chametz, he knows the joke that they're. He says it's a mitzvah to do it. Is on a mechayav lasses. We should try our best. Mutarim mechuyavim lasses. He mizuter lana mashim before lehed ye b'divrei chaim. There was a story with a guy. He was married to a shiksa, but he always sold his chametz before Pesach. So she came to the Rav. The shiksa came to the Rav. She said, "I got a letter from my husband. He was out for business, and I should go sell my chametz." But in the letter it said to his wife, she's a shiksa. He does. So he
can't make her a shliach.
No, he said you should sell it. It's a joke, but I'm Jewish, so I got to do it. So the Divrei Chaim said, no. He only said to the shiksa it's a joke because he wants her to do it. Because he wants her to do it. But really, it's not a joke. He's a yid and he doesn't want to. It's unbelievable. That's what Divrei Chaim said.
If he would tell her to do it, she said, "No, I'm not selling.
I'm not selling my chametz." So it's a joke to her, but really, it's him. The Kitzur, the Moshe Feinstein says. And the Chelkas Yaakov both say that really, if the guy is doing business, he's a ganav. He's a ganav. Okay, don't give him mafte. Parsha Shmini, don't give him mafte. He's a ganav. He went into business and any new chametz that he bought is his. If you think he bought a tremendous amount of chametz, then you have a problem, because the chametz that he bought on Pesach he bought.
Right.
But otherwise, he's a ganav.
And you can eat after Pesach buy from him.
Yeah. But unless you think that he bought on Pesach a large amount of chametz, so that's a judgment. But back to this, this is the okay paskin to their businesses that they're allowed to buy the beer, and some other hechsherim said that they're not allowed to. I think that it comes down to this.
Is it a public thing?
Yeah. Lanius daiti, it comes down to this. The Chabad attitude is a different attitude. There are poskim that hold that selling chametz is not really a real sale. It's not a real sale. The poskim that say if you're not mevatel chametz, you can't even sell the chametz. It's part of bittul. It's a stronger bittul.
Oh.
So I would say Mashenk Alter Rebbe holds that it's 100% a sale. It's a deal. A deal is a deal. It's 100% a sale. It's an absolute. That's why the Alter Rebbe made a takona with an Orev Kablan, because our story with the Rif and the Ramban and the Rashba, how you do a sale. The Alter Rebbe made sure to write a long tshuva that every Rishon will agree that this sale is 100% a sale.
Wow.
And not only that, I tell always the goy, I tell him, look, that you should know that this is a serious thing. This is not a joke. Because sometimes people come, there's the Orev Kabbalah and this, and people are laughing. I always tell them, look, it's a serious thing. It's not a joke. This is a real sale. Funny, this year I had no goy. I want a goy that's not a dummy. I want a guy that understands.
But
like we used to have a bruser. I would never sell chametz.
No.
So I show it to him.
He doesn't even know what chametz is.
Yeah, we can sell. So I have the Abish had geholfen that we have a fish tank, and the fish are a little bit azois. I needed an expert to help me out there. So I calling one business, the other, no one's answering me. Okay, sure, whatever. One fish already died. The other fish is going. A week before Pesach, a guy calls me back. He says, "Yeah, I'd like to come over." Come right over. He's a Schwarzer. And he's
getting fishy about a minute.
He says, the kids are making jokes from that. He says he didn't care. He told me the price. I said, yeah, sure. I only want to know if I could sell him the chametz. And I'm talking to him about the chametz. He says, I started telling him the story that we were slaves in Egypt. And he says, in Egypt? My wife is in Egypt right now. He pulls out his phone. And it was funny when I had to sell the chametz back. The Fabrengen went late, and he was standing with his wife in front of our house.
Wow.
The kids came schlepping me home,
gosh.
and she said, and it was so. It was funny. She's in Egypt. I said, we're selling the chametz because God took us out of Egypt. We were slaves for 210 years. We were slaves in Egypt.
She might ask for a lot of money. The Egyptians say we owe them a lot of money.
Listen, we tell the girl what
the price is.
Al Kaponim, the Alter Rebbe made a takona that the sale is a real sale. So I would say like this: if you say that the sale is like those poskim, it's not a real thing. It's a way to show that you're mevatel chametz. You walk into the business chalamoyed, you open the lights, you open the cash register, so you're showing that you're not mevatel the chametz. But if you say that the deal is 100% a deal, So good. He's a ganav. A deal is a deal. You could sell. I sold you a thing. Then I sold you my house. A week later, I'm coming in the backyard. Okay, it's a ganav. But a deal is a deal. It's a legal deal. It's a document. It was made 100% Kenyan. That was made legally, and also al pidin 100%. So therefore, I would say that that's these poskim that are machmir, because they went still with that old mahalach that the mechira is not a real mechira. So therefore, they were choishish. The gloya milza, the guy didn't really mean to mavatul chametz. But if you do it the way the Alter Rebbe says, and you really say that it's a real mechira, then mamish like Ramosha says, the guy's a ganav, but the deal is a deal.
These people, the Star Case, Achtus, whoever it is, how do they have pizza, matzah yom tif, and everything else if the mechira wasn't the real mechira?
No, they say because those people don't open their business on Cholamayit.
But they weren't hefker it. It was
Of course
never-
they were.
No, they sold it. The
And
problem
they
with
were
this
not-
beer is he sold it. Cholamayit, he went into the business and he kept on working in the business.
During the sale. During the time.
So they are saying
what if the owners-
Igloy
what if the
Miltza that he
owners
made a
taking
joke out
orders
of it.
with the
He's
Cholamayit?
laughing at the whole mechira.
What
What
does
if the owner
Budweiser have a
said-
hextra? Budweiser has extra?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Rabbi, you were saying earlier.
I think when
that
they
you're
said this Bud's for you,
bottling,
they meant
you're-
for Chabad.
Right? But, when you lock your door.
Yours does.
Budweiser says this
But
Bud's
the
for you, they mean
Apple
Chabad.
bittul. It's a
This
deal.
Bud for us.
You sold your
No,
house.
I'm talking about the other poskim. If there's, how does the
Cigarette
mechira
bud or-
add to
Oh,
the bittul?
Budweiser.
How do they
Okay, so
rationale?
I don't know.
Like what you're
I'm only
saying.
acroy to understand the Alter Rebbe's shita because that's what we do. So okay.
How about that?